we will see valid parenthesis problem. So in this problem, we are given with a string which contains only the characters like opening round bracket, closing round bracket, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket, and opening rectangular bracket and closing rectangular bracket. And we have to determine if the input string is valid, and for that they have given the rules that the input string is valid if open brackets must be closed by the same type of bracket. So for example, if a bracket is opened by let's say curly open bracket, then it should be closed only by curly closed bracket. And second rule is open brackets must be closed in the correct order. So for example, if there is like first round bracket, after that there is opening curly bracket, then it should be closed in the same order. So after this, it should be closed with one closed curly bracket, and after that it should be closed one closed round bracket. So for example, in this string there is one round bracket open and one closed round bracket, and hence this we should return true as output for this input. In the second input, basically first is the opening brackets are closed in the same order. That's why for second input also we return true. In the third input, there is one open round bracket, but the closing bracket is rectangular. So in this, so this is not a valid input, and in this case we should return false. So what we can do in this problem is basically we use stack for this, and whenever we are traversing from left to right, what we do is whenever we encounter any opening bracket, in that case we push its corresponding closing bracket onto the stack. So for example, here when we encounter opening round bracket, in this case we put its closing round bracket on the stack. So currently this will be at the top of our stack, and what we do is when we so for all the open round bracket, we push its respective closing bracket onto the stack. And when we encounter a closing bracket, what we do is so for example, once we encounter this closing bracket, we have to pop a element from this stack, and the character that we are currently encountering, it should be same as the character that we popped from the stack. So we basically, in this case, we will pop this element and we will check whether the popped element from the stack is equal to our current element or not, as this is also closed round bracket, and this was also closed round bracket. That's why it is equal. So we move forward. After that, we encounter a closed rectangular bracket. So in this, sorry, open rectangular bracket. So its corresponding closed rectangular bracket we push onto the stack. After that, we encounter closed rectangular bracket. In this case, we will pop this element. So this will be right closed rectangular bracket, and then we again compare whether closed rectangular bracket is equal to the current character. As they are equal, we again proceed forward. Now we encounter open curly bracket, and for that we push its corresponding closing curly bracket onto the stack, and at the end we encounter a closed curly bracket, and for that we pop the element from our stack. So we pop this closed curly bracket, and again we compare whether this is equal to this. If this is equal, as there is no more further character, and also after popping the closing bracket, our stack will also be empty, so there is no element present in the stack. That's the reason we will return true from this as an output. So if we take a look at the source code, we have given a isValid function, and for that we take an argument as a string. So we initialize our stack, and then for each character in our string, as we saw, if the character is opening round bracket in the stack, we push its corresponding close bracket. So when there is opening round bracket, we push closed round bracket to the stack. When we encounter open curly bracket, we push closed curly bracket to the stack. And when we encounter open rectangular bracket, we push closed rectangular bracket to the stack. After that, if these three conditions are not met, that basically means that we are encountering a closed brackets, and in that case we have to pop that element and check whether that closed curly bracket that we are popping from our stack, that should be equal to our current character. Or we also have to check if the string is empty, stack is empty or not. And if these two conditions are not met, that means current character is not equal to the popped element from the stack. Or when we say that stack is empty, that means the for our current bracket, which is a closing bracket, there is no corresponding opening bracket, and in this case we return false. And if we come out of this for loop, that means this condition is never met, which returns invalid or invalid string. That means at the end of the after this for loop, we return whether the stack is empty or not. If stack is not empty, that means there was some extra opening brackets for which the corresponding closing brackets are not there in the string. And that's the reason we return whether the stack is empty or not, because we expect that stack should be empty after we complete this for loop to be the for our string to be a valid string. So overall time complexity of this is O of n, as we are where n is the number of characters in our string, as we have to iterate over all of our characters in the string one by one.